floor of a giant hotel ballroom in Washington, D.C., with about 500 other young people, including the students from New Hampshire that I had been working with for months. There was Tony, a black woman from Jamaica, Craig, a white guy in his first semester of community college, Shadalis, a child of Puerto Rican parents, Emily, a student from a Catholic college, and Jihad, an international student from Egypt. A white man stood in front of the room and explained the risk of civil disobedience to the group. In the far back of the room, a woman I didn't know stood up for the second time. You're still explaining arrests as if there's only white people in this room. I'm asking a simple question. Is this action for me as a person of color? Silence consumed the room. I sat with nauseating discomfort as I anticipated the reactions of my student climate leaders sitting next to me. For months, this group and I had been working in one of the whitest states and one of the whitest movements in the country, striving to build something different. But there I was with those students and somehow, against all odds, we were getting there. We were building something different. I came to New Hampshire determined to construct a bubble of the climate movement where my students and I could claim ownership of this movement. But there I was with those students, and the white man was claiming ownership again, and totally messing up my bubble. I left the room and cried, overwhelmed by what this moment of tension would mean for our group. Would my students decide this wasn't the movement for them? Would we be able to continue to proudly call this group our own? As I pulled myself together, I held my breath and re-entered the room. I immediately saw my group of students together at a table. Click, they were taking a selfie. And as she burst into laughter, Tony waved me over to hop in the picture with them. I couldn't believe it. They seemed totally unfazed. And then I realized something. They never had a perfect bubble. They live in New Hampshire, a place where black campusers often get the police called on them just for walking door to door. They live with rampant racism basically every day, and the climate movement can't always be separate from that. And I realized something else. They don't need a bubble. They have each other and the strength and love that comes with claiming ownership of this movement together. Now, when I think of the climate movement, I don't think of an old white man in the wilderness. I think of the faces in that selfie, the faces of people I'm proud to call my people, my movement.